Hey everyone, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Kevin Juza. He's a leadership coach, keynote speaker, and succession strategist who helps organizations build cultures of trust and performance during times of transition. As the founder of the Tenacious Leader, he blends inspiration with implementation to help business strengthen their legacy and empower the next generation of leaders. How you doing today, Kevin?
I'm doing great, Anthony. Thanks.
I was excited to have you on. I really enjoyed our last conversation. You're doing a lot of cool things. You're helping a lot of people. So there's a lot of folks out there that would benefit from getting to know you. But to start off with, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
So I'm right outside San Diego in a town called Poway, California. It's North County of San Diego. So I'm just about 15 minutes away from the ocean and about 5 minutes away from the desert.
You've been there for a while, or are you newer to the area?
We moved here 19 years ago, just a couple months before my daughters were born.
Okay. You've been there long enough to kind of have your own stomping ground.
Yeah.
So if you have some friends coming into town, where are you going? What are you doing? And what's for dinner?
Ooh. Well, there's a great little pub called Hop Stop downtown Poway. I call it down. There's small towns like there's Rancho Bernardo. There's all these little communities, but I always call the center of the downtown, and people always get a kick out of that. So we go to downtown Poway and go to Hop Stops. It's a great local pub, and they just got approved for music here starting up, so that should be kind of fun. I love taking the families to Del Mar to get some nice. There's good Italian food and good fresh fish over there for people that like seafood. So those are probably two places I stop when people come and visit.
Yeah, I like the downtowns and the small towns where it's like, yeah, it's downtown, but you can see the edge of town from there. Like you don't have to squint too hard.
Exactly.
No, it's right there. So okay, I gotcha. Awesome. Well, what can you tell us about what you do?
Well, my company's name or my business, I go by the Tenacious Leader because I believe life is truly about just keep going forward. There's never a straight line. It's always a zigzag line to get to where you want to go. And so you never can give up because you never can give up on your dream, your possibilities. My wife and I, we were trying to have a family early on in our marriage, and it just wasn't working for us. And you couldn't give up. You had failure after failure, heartbreak after heartbreak, and we just had one more chance to go for it. And we were instead of just one, we got two. So you just never know what you're gonna get once you push through it. And that goes within my business environments too, where you're doing so well, then all of a sudden organizational change happens, and boom, you pivot, and you're forced to pivot into something else. And that's when COVID happened. I started from there, moved me out of corporate America, and I've been doing consulting and fractional leadership coaching and development for the last 5, 6 years. And it's been a great opportunity to really get to know people individually and help them fulfill their dreams.
Absolutely no. Yeah, I get that. What is it that you love most about what you're doing now?
I love building the bridges between one parent to their kids of the communication and business styles, but also building bridges to their futures, whatever they're going to be. Is there going to be the bridge to retirement for the parent, or bridge to the next financial security for their family, for the up and coming the son or daughter who's taking over the business, and really a bridge builder. My happiest moment is when the father or a parent sits around in and shakes my hand, looks me straight in the eye, and says, "You've given my business a legacy, and you've given my family hope. Thank you." That's like you get you in your throat, and you're like, "That's why I'm doing this." It's helping people get through their tough times to actually have a sustainable future.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that would definitely choke you up a bit. So, okay. What about what's your average client look like? What's the avatar of that? Or what are some of the pain points that somebody might be going through that if they're dealing with X, Y, or Z, you're the person they should be talking to?
It's when you've had a business for 15 years or so, you've gone through all the pains and figure out how to get your business going, and you actually got 2 to 3 generations relying on your brand, your business in your community. And so when you're ready to retire after 25, 30 years or longer, and you're like, I can't let this thing go, but my kids don't want it. No one wants my business. And that is just a mentality mindset that just is closed minded because they don't think no one could do it as well as them. Or they don't think they have that they want to be nurses and we're septic cleaners. It's like who wants to be a septic cleaner if that's the business that you manage? Well, you know what? It's a service that people need. And people who have that kind of environment, they need a septic cleaner to come out. So no kid grows up to want to own a business like that. But you know what? if you show them the opportunity of what it really looks like, because everybody wants to have value in their business, in their career, and can they help somebody else? And that's what most of these businesses are, but they've got a sustainable life in them. So, how do you bridge that gap to get the kids to say, you know what, I wanted to be a nurse, or I wanted to be a teacher, or I wanted to be an engineer or computer designer, but I have this business that could provide me six figures and pay for my house in 15 years. How can I make this work? And the second hardest part is they're not willing to do it the way their parents want. So the parents being able to let go a little bit so the kids can actually get their personality in the business and start seeing it grow. That's my tagline when I work with people is like, you're not just giving the business, they've got to earn the business. Because once they earn the business, they can keep it growing and thriving in the future. Economic tough times, they know how to grow it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine that's incredibly important because what is it? Wealth doesn't last three generations, right? So being able to
Right.
pass it on, but not just like, here's this thing that's yours now. It's here's this thing that you need to run right so that it's going to be there for you and your family. And that legacy is going to extend a little bit further.
And they're kind of sometimes they're at that point where I just want to get out of this. I just want to go, and they sell it to a private equity firm or some other big organization that has a lot of money already, but then they're just going to combine it with another business just like it in a town nearby, and then the community impact is gone. There's no more money that goes to the soccer clubs. There's no more money that goes on the baseball fields. That kind of money is profit to them, so they're not going to let it happen in those communities anymore. And so I really try to do my best to make that pass that revenue to the next generation, so they can then pay off their home and provide maybe opportunities for their kids to have a job in the future down the way, and it just continually grows. It's amazing how people, when they have a job they can see themselves be in after a while, it's freedom. It's like I don't have to think about this or worry about this anymore. And the parents on the flip side think of the same way. Maybe they're not making the cash out. They're not getting that check for $1 million or a $500,000 cash out for my retirement plan. But maybe they get a 10-year payout by the kids who've earned the business and grow the revenue. So then now they can just get it paid out over 10 years and it'll be the same amount of money, but it'll be actually something the kids can afford to do to take over the business.
What does your average power partner look like, or who do you synergize? Any other professions or professionals out there that you can collaborate well with or refer back and forth with?
Yeah, I work with a lot of like fractional HR people or fractional financial planners because there is a lot of these steps that once you get to the point where it's ready to pass over hands, how can you do it most efficiently and not cost you a lot of money, but make it sure it's all documented properly so tax wise everything goes and effectively transitions from one generation to the next. HR, a lot of these businesses, they don't have like the manuals and the processes and the procedures to really, they've been managed by the family, but now you're going to bring in more, maybe if you're going to grow the business, maybe you have to bring in more people. Then you're kind of, the businesses are at risk for things they've never been used to, like letting people go or people quitting on them and they don't know how to manage all that paperwork as much. They don't want to get themselves caught in the bind there. But sometimes it gets to the point where they want to do some marketing or expand their business because now they've got some fundamental things taken care of, and so now they want to see if they can grow it with external marketing versus just word of mouth.
What advice would you give to a new or an aspiring entrepreneur?
They always, when you go, I was a franchisee myself. I bought into a franchise when my daughters were very young. And it's kind of funny. The second meeting, they said, "What's your exit strategy? How long do you want to be here? Where do you want to go?" And I understand you to have a roadmap to understand those directions, but reality is their dream is that they're going to own this business for a long time and they're going to pass it to their kids. That's why most people start a business and they have kids are thinking, how can I give this to them? So their exit strategy, they don't want to put it on paper because they get questions like that. You can't do that. That's not realistic. Be more, but in reality, once you get over that 10, 15 years, it's a cash cow for your family and something you just want to keep going and moving it on. So don't be afraid to have a longer vision of what your goal is with the business and grow it when you can. A lot of people, they find their time when I start working with the business owner, a lot of times they say, "Kevin, I like our time because you make me think about the business instead of just being in the business." One of my clients is a carpet cleaner, and when you get going there, you're just taking clients, taking appointments coming in, you do that and you go home at 6 o'clock and you're tired. So it gives them a chance to sit down and look at the business, look at their numbers, and really see, am I making a difference on those little tweaks and changes we do along the way. But maybe make sure, I guess the best word of advice with all that long answer is take that time weekly to work on the business, not just being in the business.
Okay. And why you? What sets what you're doing apart from everybody else out there that might be doing something similar?
Well, I gotta say it's kind of my heart. I'm in it for you. My cost of doing business is very low compared to what a lot of people charge out there. If they want to sell their business, whatever, there's a lot higher commission rates that people take from your organization. But me, I'm trying to grow your business and help it build the bridge over. And it's really affordable in a sense of what the scope of the impact I can bring. And that's what people are most afraid of, like how much you're gonna cost. It's cheaper than insurance for some people. It's building it up. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And when you do, you get somebody like myself that really cares truly about your success more than the financial success, because that's really not what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about, can we truly get the goal where we want? One of my clients, we started working and it was $650,000 when I started working with him. And within 2.5 years, we're going to be knocking on $1 million this year. And that's just in 2.5 years, we almost doubled their business at an incremental number. And so, and I'm more excited about that success than, what it takes. So I really care about my clients.
You're obviously passionate about this and you're a wealth of knowledge, so we could probably spend all the time talking about any bit of this. But in general, is there anything that I missed or that I failed to ask that you wanted to add?
I'd say that it's there's the two people that talk to me is either the spouse or the spouse of the owner or the owner themselves. Are like, I don't know who's going to take this over. I don't know how to handle this. And I don't want to say it out loud because then it happens. I don't want to say I'm going to retire or going to sell the business because then it might happen tomorrow and it might happen further or faster than they want. And it doesn't happen that long. If you do it the right way, a succession plan is over 3 to 5 years because you have the chance to actually teach this person in a true way to learn to run the business. And on the other side of the coin, it's the son or the daughter that wants to take over the business, and they need to have patience to basically prove to the parents that they care about the business just as much as they do, and they have ideas and dreams of how to make it even better, and being very transparent in the communication. And so when you sit down there and you're arguing a lot about your business with your sons or daughters or your spouse, that right there means it's time to bring somebody to come in, and I would love to be that person.
For those that are ready to say it out loud, that know they should, what's the best way they get a hold of me? Where can they find you?
Well, the Tenacious Leader is my website, and if you search that on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see some stuff about myself. But the Tenacious Leader is my website. Feel free, Kevin at the Tenacious Leader. I'd love to respond to you and give you 15-20 minute conversation and see if there's a chance that I can help you, or maybe you want some other connections I have that can help your business. So that would be amazing.
If anybody would like to get a hold of Kevin, do it. I'm going to put all of his stuff in the show notes so it's super easy to find. He's incredibly genuine. He's the exact same in the one-to-one as he is here. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Reach out, have that conversation. Like you said, a lot of people are afraid to put words to the thing that they're dreading.
Or their dreams. It's like how many I would have been afraid many times to say, I want to lose weight. I don't want to tell nobody about it because I don't want to be held accountable to it, right? And so it's like, but once you say something that's a big goal or aspiration that's bigger than what you can maybe grasp right now, it's scary sometimes. But just say that I want to take over my parents' business. Wow, that's big, or I want to retire after 40 years. That's big. But you just got to start saying it, and I'd love to help you walk through that.
Perfect. So absolutely reach out, have the conversation. You're going to be better off for doing it. But other than that, if anybody would like to get a hold of me, you can visit me at ikag.me. You can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, and connect with our growing community of awesome people like Kevin. If you were somebody you know would like to be interviewed, you can also apply on the website. But Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time having this conversation with us. There's a lot of people that are going to benefit from that. So really appreciate everything you do. Let's all take it to heart. Let's have an awesome day and grow our circles. All right.